We're starting Be'ezra Hashem Siman Pei Tes by Yom Moshe, and we're going into the reasons why it's also to be mishtatef in the Knesset. So in Pei Zayin had two reasons: Shalosh Shavuos and being part of the 120 people. Pei Ches we had two reasons. One was to because it's near Kemoyed B'Avodah Zarah, and the second was because of the oath of office. Now he's going to say a fifth reason, which is because of Chanifa, being mechanif, which is flattering Rishaim or showing your approval of Rishaim. Peites. Uva Gemara Sait Daf Mem Aleph Gabi Agripas HaMelech.
What's Agripas?
He was the last king before the Churban based by Sheni, and he was from Hordes's children. Hordes took over from the Chashmonaim, Herod the Great, and he was an Eved. He was the son of one of the Avadim of Hyrcanus, one of the Chashmonaim kings. And Herod took over, Hordes took over, and after his rule ended, he was a cruel and Russia, Rotzeach. When after he finished being a king, after he died, his son took over. His son's name was, he had a few sons, but one of them was Aristobulus. And then Aristobulus had a son named Agripas, and then Agripas had a son named Agripas the second. So this is Agripas Hasheni, the second Agripas that was by Churban by Hasheni. And the Gemara says good things about him. So we're going to learn now that he was a tzaddik, he was a good king, even though he was descended from Hordes, but he did what was right in the eyes of the Chachamim. The Gemara started Daf Mem Aleph Gabi Agripas HaMelech She'amad V'Kara, that by the Hakel, the mitzvah of Hakel is that every 7 years at the end of Shemitah on Chol HaMoed Sukkos, the king gets up in the Azara and he reads the Sefer Torah in front of all the people.
That was Van Bayis Rishon. That was Van
Bayis Sheni too.
When the Chashmonaim took over?
Yep, the Chashmonaim did it, and even Hordes' Einiklach, the Agripas, did it.
He wasn't even Jewish.
Well, we're going to see. That's going to be the point.
Or was he Jewish because he went free as an Eved?
Well, we're going to talk about it soon. Just hold on, okay?
Yeah.
Take a look in the Mishnah in Saita Mem Aleph. It's page 10. Hamva Melech Oimed. The king stands up.
Yeah.
The Gemara says we're talking about the Ezra's Nashim here. So the Ezra's Nashim, you're allowed to sit. So he was sitting until now on a chair. And Kohen Gadol gives him the Sefer Torah, and the king stands up and he takes the Sefer Torah from the Kohen Gadol. He takes the Sefer Torah, the Koire, and he reads it. Yoishev, he reads it sitting. He sits down with the Sefer Torah and he reads it. Agripas HaMelech Amad V'Kibel. Agripas HaMelech stood up and took the Sefer Torah. V'Kara Oimid, and he continued to stand while he was laning. V'Shibchu Chacham, the Chachamim gave him praise for that because he showed more respect to the Sefer Torah. Ukeshehigia, I'm just reading in the Mishnah now. Ukeshehigia, when he got to the pasuk, L'loi Sucha Alasis Alecha Ish Nachri, pasuk in Parashat Shoftim, that a king cannot be from a foreign family, from Avadim or Gerim. So Zalgu Einav Demois, his eyes were running with tears. So Amru Loi, the Yidden said to Agripas, Al Tisyari Agripas, Achinu Ato. Don't worry, you're our brother.
Now how could it be if a king can only be an Ezra? It can't be a Ger. Right. Descended from Ger. How could it be? How was he able to be king?
So, Dr. Rashi, Agripas HaMelech, Melech Yisrael Haya, he was a Jewish king, Mizara Shel Hurdas, he was from Hurdas.
How could it be?
Wait. V'hu shenechrav beis hamikdash b'yamav. He was the one that was king at the time of the Churban. Zalgu Einav Demois, Sha'amikra Zeh Poisling Amalchus, that he cried because this was going to apostle him from being a king. So they said, Achinu Ata She'imoy Yisrael, that his mother was Jewish.
But
so the halacha is, if an Eved marries a Jewish woman, the children are Jewish.
So Hurdus married Hurdus, that means married.
Not Hurdus, but so we're talking about Hurdus' great grandson. So
married a Drachis.
Right. So what happened was Hurdus' son, Aristobulus, married a Shifcha. Aristobulus had a child, Agripas HaRishon. That Agripas HaRishon married a Jewish woman. Right, and the child of that marriage was Agripas Hasheni.
Right. So
Rashi's saying Imoy Yisrael.
Ezra all the way.
So Rashi's mashma from here that if his mother is Jewish, he could be king. So then why?
He doesn't have to be from a Shevet.
So then why Taka was he apostle? Maybe he wasn't apostle. So what was the problem? What they said? Look at the Gemara. Ukeshigia, the next page. The Loisuchala says Tana. But the Brisa says like this: Mishmeder of Nasan. That at that time the Jewish people they did a sin that sealed their fate, that made them liable to punishment. Klaya. Why? Because they flattered him. They flattered Agripas and they told him something that wasn't true just to make him happy. So what wasn't true? The Maisa, he was
from his rachas then.
Right. Well, his mother was Jewish. So what was the problem? So this is what Tosfos asks in Rashi here. He says, Yushalmi Tanei Rebbe Chanina Rebbe Gamliel Omer Haya Omer Harbe Chalalim Naflu B'Oisei Yom. He says that many people died on that day, that they were mechanefim. Right? So it wasn't just the Gemara doesn't just say they were chayav misa for it. They really did die. But since Rashi says his mother was Jewish, well, Tosfos said, I don't understand what was so terrible. It was just a bizayon, just an embarrassment to have a king that's not fully from a Jewish family. Okay, but it's not a psul.
Yeah.
So what was so terrible? How could they be chayav such a big einish for such a little tiny amount of flattery?
Right, so what's the answer?
So the Tosfos argues on Rashi, and he says here in the Hemshich, Pirshri, basically, I'm not going to read the whole thing inside, but he says that we say that Imoy Yisrael is enough, it's a Gemara in Yivamis, that's only talking about other types of positions, to appoint people to other important positions, but to a king is different. He says, a melech, chazer v'shana olav mikerav achecha tasim olech melech. The king said, the pasuk says twice, it says, mikerav achecha tasim olech melech, lo yisucha lasis helcha ish nachri. So the kapid kra, the Torah is makpid gabi melech, ad sheyehei mamish mikerav, memutza, completely from a Jewish family. May aviv vit imay, his mother and his father.
So is that
was the Chanif against Agripas because he wasn't really allowed to be king. All right.
Really? So is that how we pass him?
I don't know how we pass him.
Is how the Rambam pass him in the Yad?
I didn't look it up. I don't know.
Oh.
Take a look. Perak Aleph Malachim. I think the Rambam does pass him on this, but I can't remember what he says. Kitzer. So
because somebody who was a Gosh father can still be like a rabbi, like a Gadol Hador and Posek.
Yeah, well, you have to be.
Well, there were. We do find such a Maraim tonight that.
Mari Bar Rachel.
Yeah, whose mother was an Anusha by a guy. Because it's an Ezra, it's not a guy Chas Shalom in any way.
It's a good point. Okay, so
and we'll see if the Rambam agrees with this.
Take a look at the Vayom Moshe inside again now. Uvi Gemara site daf mem malach gabi agripas and melech sh'amar v'kar v'shibchu chachamim ukeshigia lo yisucha lasis alach ish nachri zalguin of demais that he cried. So amru lo yachinu ata. They said, "You're our brother." V'hevi sham brayse ba'oisa shah nischayvus the name shel Yisrael klaya shechnif lo agripas. Okay, we read this already. Uvi toisvis sham b'shem rishami shehar b'chalalim naflu ba'oisa hayoim shechnif lo. Toisvis brings, like we just said, that they actually got killed for it. Uvidas Rashi zal lo haya aster min adin. It wasn't really aster for him to be king. She'imoy hayim Yisrael. His mother was Jewish. Ela dezila milsa. It was just a bizayon to have such a king. Ela sha Tosfos tamu. Tosfos asks on Rashi the kiven she'ena min adin hayich yischayvu al zeh oynish gadol kol kach. Yeah. V'lachein kosvu. Therefore Tosfos writes sham shekein hu adin. But that's really the din that he can't be king. It's not enough to have a Jewish mother. He has to be one of the most choicest. Means he has to be purely, has good pure yichus on both sides.
But his pure yichus was mother Jewish. What's the deal? It's Jewish, bottom line.
It's Jewish, but it's not the yichus on both sides is not there. He's not a descendant of Jews from his father's side. Okay, now Uvi Yavamas Peraka Choylitz Daf Mem He'am Beis Tosfos Dibur Maskal Kivun Hevi Gam Kain Midivrei Rashi the Mishum Hachi Kra'u Achinu Lefi Shaiste Imo Yisrael. Tosfos quotes this whole Rashi over there. The Tama and Tosfos asked the same question over there. Gam Kain Lama Yischayvu Azaklaya. The Tirt Sham Be'oifen Acher. And there Tosfos has a different teretz. The Hurdas Loi Nasa Bas Yisrael. The Hurdas, and Tosfos will have to mean here Hurdas is children. It doesn't mean Hurdas himself because Hurdas wasn't the father of Agrippa. So we saw Hurdas was his great grandfather. But upon him, the information may not be exactly accurate, but the point is the same point, that Hurdas Loi Nasa Bas Yisrael, that Agrippas' father didn't marry a Jewish woman, She'as the tshuva, The Hordis did tshuva. The Gemara, he's referring to a story in Bava Basra. The Hordis was originally a Rotzeach, and then at the end of his life he wanted to do tshuva, so he built the base in Mikdash. So because he did tshuva, he didn't marry Bas Yisrael. V'loy haya gam imoy mi Yisrael, and therefore his mother wasn't Jewish. Agripas' mother. V'lochach nenshu, and therefore they were punished. That even though someone with a Jewish mother would be kosher to be a king, but Agripas didn't have a Jewish mother.
So this Agripas' mother was not Jewish?
What? This is according to Tosfos, his mother wasn't Jewish.
How do you appoint read Hallel then?
What'd you say?
How does he do a mitzvah which guys aren't allowed to do? While you're doing hakel?
Because he forced himself on them. He became king by force. Just like Hordis. Hordis wasn't Jewish, he was an Eved, right?
Yeah.
But he forced everybody to accept
And
him.
if an Eved rebelled, I don't think he's free of the He has to be given. But if an Eved cannot, like Hordis, kills his master, is he free up the halacha and now he's Jewish?
Well, it depends what the master's son wants to do with him. Master's son.
He killed all his sons even. Is he free now?
There's always going to be Yarshim somewhere in the world.
Oh, I got it.
But Tosfos says over here in Yivamas, I'm not going to say it now, but Tosfos, take a look, and after that part that the Rebbe quotes, Tosfos asks this kasha that you're asking, that what happened when Hordis became king, l'choyer, everybody is miyayish from him. His master is not going to have him back anymore. So hamafkir avda yatsa l'cheiris. So l'choyer, he should have gone out free. So Tosfos says that no, they weren't miyayish. They were hoping that he would have him apala.
Right.
Kitzer. Let's see now. So we have Rashi Shita that he was really Imoy Mi Yisrael and he was kosher, but it was just a design to have him. Twice Shita, two ways to learn: either you have to have a Jewish father as well, or maybe his mother wasn't Jewish. Which, by the way, there were two Agripases.
So he read Hakel by force. He made them. He got into there by force. Read Hakel. He forced them.
I guess so. The whole Melucha was by force.
All right.
Okay, but by the way, there were two Agripases. There was a 1 and a 2. So Tosfos is right about the first one.
Well, this one here.
Israel, and Rashi's right about the second one. So they're not really disagreeing. They're just talking about two different cases. That's for the historical facts.
What was his name? Agripas' father.
Agrippas Arishan's father?
Yeah.
Aristobulus.
Yeah.
Okay. And Aristobulus' father was
Hordis.
Okay. The Afapi Shahaya Eved. So now Tosfos says in Yivamas, how come they called him our brother if he was an Eved? So he says, Afapi Shahaya Eved Kra'u Achinu Lefi Shahaya Acheim B'mitzvahs. They called him a brother because he was Achiyim b'mitzvahs. He was a brother as far as being chayav in mitzvahs, because an Eved is chayav in mitzvahs.
But Hakel is Hakel too?
Yeah, no, the Eved can't be a king to read Hakel, that's for sure. But he's just trying to explain that their words were true when they said.
But still not to read Hakel. You still.
Yeah, nechadami. But the words have some emes to them. That's the point.
But it's still more false than true anyhow.
Okay, v'hinei Agrippas hamelech kosher haya. This king was a good king. K'mavur b'Rashbam. He wasn't a Rasha. He was a tzaddik. Rashbam says Psachim daf Kuf Zayin on base. He calls him a melech kosher. Gama Tosfos lo yichalku alav el b'masha omer shahaya mimalchi Chashmonaim. That the Rashbam there says that he was from the Chashmonaim. So Tosfos says no, that's not true. He wasn't a Chashmonai. He was from Hordis' family. He was an Eved. But Tosfos doesn't disagree with the Rashbam in the fact that he was a melech kosher. The Gemara tells two stories about his about good things that he did and how the Chacham were happy with him. Because he had a type of a nava, humility. So the first story is Sham B'Soita, that story we just read, Amad B'Shas Kriya, that he stood up for Hakel, which was not really required because it was the Ezes Nashim. B'Shvil Kavod HaTorah, because of the honor of the Torah, he stood up. Maseches Ketuvos Daf Yud Zayin, K'Sha'avar Milivnei Kala, Livni Mishuras Hadin. That the din is when a Kala is coming down the street with her the Chasna, and everyone's dancing for her, and they're going from the father's house to the Chasna's house. Like they did in the old days, they had chasnas in the street.
They still do in the UK actually. They still have. They make whenever they have a chasna, they do like the whole day thing that they used to do. From what I've been told by one guy I know whose brother got married and moved to Manchester.
So when they danced in the street, the din was that if the king came down the street at the same time, the king takes precedence over the kala because kavod malchus. So the king has to step aside and let the kala pass.
Really?
The kala has to step aside and let the king pass, because the king takes precedence. But Agripas, because he was a melech kosher, he's more of an anav, so he stepped aside and let the kala pass. Okay, so those two stories we find good about him. You never find that Agripas was a Rasha who was trying to go against the Torah, like his great grandfather was. That he did more than he had to. The Chazal never say anything negative about him. Just his yichus is bad.
So his mother was Jewish, bottom line. His mother was Jewish. So
the Agripas Hasheni's the fact of the matter was his mother was Jewish. If you look in Josephus, who tells the story of the history,
he's Jewish. Bottom line, he's not a guy.
Right, but what Tosfos says is still true as far as the first Agripas is concerned.
Yeah.
So Tosfos could be learning that it was the first one. Rashi goes out of his way. We saw in the one Saita, if you look back on that daf in Saita, Rashi says that it was the second Agripas. He says clearly that it was the one Shenechra V'Bayis B'Yamav.
I see.
So obviously he's talking about the second one. Tosfos could be talking about the first one. Al Kapanim, so he says that he was a good king, but he just had bad yichus. That was Tosfos' question. Al Rashi. How could they be chayv such a big einish for saying good about him, saying achinu ato? That he didn't have anything wrong with him except to his yichus. That not only, according to Rashi, is the punishment for flattery a great punishment, because nischayv u'kloya rachman litzlan, they were chayv to be destroyed. Gamal chanufa she'enoi neged ikra din Torah, that just for being mechan of someone, even not against the Torah, they were because mikra din he was kosher to be king, according to Rashi. Even then they were chayav for chanufa. Elam idrabanan, the whole psul of being king for such a person was only a drabanan. Ela af l'das ha-Tosfos. Even according to Tosfos, who holds that he was meikra din pasul. Shahayab was that Ister Torah, halav that when Agripas was a king, he was being in violation of this commandment, right? Not put a foreigner on the throne. Al kapanim eino yala Ister lav. The worst it could be is a lav. You never find that someone's chayav misa for just being over on a lav. So why were they chayav misa? Even Tosfos, right? So he says v'ava pichein al chanufa, but for the flattery they were chayav misa. That was what the aveir was. Shahayanir she'iskimu l'malchus shalei kadas. It was looking as if they were approving of a king who is illegal. He's not allowed to be king. Neged ister lav nischay v'chas hashalom kloya v'naflu arba chalal miyisrael al yidei zeh, that they were chayav a terrible einish. Okay, so you see from this that the chanifa is worse than the aveir that you're chanfening. The aveir could be a lav, but if you're chanfening it, you're showing a hechsher on it, that's worse than just the aveir itself. This is a proof. It's worse than the actual aveira.
Well, yeah, like they say so much bad thing about Mechanef Chazal, but not about who does the aveira. But all the terrible things come first, you know who said the aveira. Like even the emperor's in the womb curses such a person.
Oh, even the what?
If somebody said eats treif, let's say, oh, you did a good thing.
Right.
What? Because about such a person, even the embryos in the womb curse him. But they don't say about someone who actually eats treif.
Shezeh mazik yoiser, because showing approval of someone doing an aveira is more damaging, is more dangerous to the world. Mazik yoiser lo'olam ki nasa hechsher lo'aveiros, because it looks like you're giving a hechsher, you're giving your stamp of approval on the aveira.
Even if somebody eats chaylev, we don't say about him that the embryo in the womb curse him, but they say it about someone who said, "Oh, you chaylev, but it's okay. What you do is all right."
In the Metzudas David on Tanakh is Kosav ala Kosav Oizvei Torah Yahalu Rasha. Those who leave the Torah praise the Rasha.
Mishlei, right.
Mishlei Chavches Dal Shamahalim Es Rasha Gruim Mimenu. That those who praise the Rasha are worse than the Rasha himself. They're called Oizvei Torah. Ki Rasha Yodei B'Atzmo Yishlei Tovim Masav. The Rasha knows that he's doing the wrong thing. Ela Aval Yasel Te'avin. He's just doing it because he has a taiva. He can't hold himself back. Hey, Mahalim myself. They're going and praising him, and they're doing worse than him. Okay? Gam chazinan And we also see the halakas of Rashi Zal Shahaya Imoy Mizrael, that Rashi and Tosfos go out of their way to make the words Achinu Ata true. Why do you see that? Because Rashi says Achinu Ata Imoy Mizrael. Bishvil Yashiv Velashon Shiyeh Emes Mashakaru Oisoi Achinu. Rashi says it in order to make it true when the Jew said he's our brother. That Tosfos says that Rashi said it because of that. Tosfos Yivam Staf Mem Hey. Let me see if I have it here. Page 12. He says, "We can't Pukasha the Pirish Akunchis the Pirish Be'eluna Amarim Gabi Agripas Amelch Sha'amru Lo Yachinu Ato V'Kamer B'Gemar the V'Oisa Shad Yitzchai V'Sneim Shal Yisrael Klaya Shechniv L'Agripas the Pirish Akunchis Krav Achinu Lefi Shahaisa Imoy Mizrael." It's mashma that Tosfos is learning that Rashi had to say Imoy Mizrael because of the Gemara, because of the story that they said Achinu Ata. Okay. Tosfos didn't like Rashi's pshat. Tosfos also troubles himself to explain the word achinu. That he was their brother as far as being chayav in mitzvahs. That both Rashi and Tosfos agree that when they said achinu, it has to be true in some way or shape or form. Neither Rashi nor Tosfos had a havamina to learn that maybe they were saying a total lie, just to be mechanefim, right? That's not even in the parsha. We're talking about emes chanifa, that where there was some truth to it, but it still was wrong. You have to say that that what was the chanifa then, if it was true? The chanifa was because he was crying over this pasuk, right? He was crying so because they said it at that point in time, it was made to appear as if they agreed to him being king. Even though when they said the words Achinu Ata, it was true, technically true, but since it was mashma that they're agreeing to the malchus, that this malchus wasn't legal, so that was why there was such a terrible punishment. V'im kein kal v'chomer ben b'noi shel kal v'chomer b'oisoi malchus aminis shel minim v'apikosim amasisim v'madichim lahavir al kolo amunim l'gamri. That they're not like agripas. They're a shayim. They're trying to be madiach and make people do averis and go against the whole amunah. So l'chol hapoiskim einam b'chlal achicha. They're not included in achicha for any reasons, right, according to anybody. The Torah would passel them for any appointment. Not only to be a government, but even to be the president of a shul, right? V'chol chukeim chukei aku muminis. And all their laws are against the Torah, and they're based on Goyish law. So
the democracy of the state is actually based on Hellenism. So they try to bring rayas, from the Chashmonaim, but they're the one who want to bring Hellenism on Jews by making Jews into a democratic state. Right. Because democracy was a Hellenistic philosophy.
That the actual having a state, whether it's with Torah or not, is there of the shul that has this terrible einish. Besides the other isurim that we talked about throughout the sefer, other isurim that I'm going to explain later. So so it's for sure also to show any emotion that could be interpreted as approval. That melucha has the purpose and the goal of being metame the whole Jewish people. Hashem yisborach yatzilenu. Befrat ma she'oisim chavrei hakneses shemiskashrim imoyim b'shvua. And going back to what we said in Simon Pei Ches, right? That when they join the Knesset, they have to make an oath of office. So when they're miskashrim, when they join with them, that they join up with that government that's disgusting in the eyes of Hashem, and they go and they're approving of this to'eva, this abomination in the eyes of the whole Jewish people. There's too little space on the page to explain how bad it is. They ain't die milim. There's not enough words for it. To show the terrible thing that they're doing with this. It's going to be explained more in the Hamshach.